Okay, welcome to Working Group Apply. We are Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Let's get started and look at the issues. Maybe I'm gonna open these because, let's start with these because we don't have much. Yeah, I think it'd be nice if we could promote dry run and diff as GA features in 1.17, the next release, because we don't have many problems with the features. I think they're pretty complete now. So let's look quickly at what needs to be done. Yeah, I don't know about that.
The last, are you talking about the last one?
In general, like, okay, the dry run flag on kubectl. Do we actually need that? People wanted it. I remember when I did the feature. Like some people were saying we need to have the flag on every single command, and some other people were like, we don't need to do a lot of work for almost nothing. So I don't have a strong opinion on that. The dry run support in client Go, does it mean anything? I think it's mainly having like a new function in client Go, but I mean, do we need that to be GA? These are like nice to have, but nothing is super important. Like same for the last one. The last one we have a cap, but it's been closed anyway. Some people believe it's useful, some people believe it's not. I don't think we can wait for that before we go GA. Okay, let's not think about it too much. There's nothing to be done here. Okay, so let's forget about these.
What is why are we trying to make it GA? Like, what is the, what do we benefit if we make it GA?
Good question, do you know?
I have no idea.
I do not care. I want the features to work well and solve problems for people. If they're GA or beta, it doesn't make a difference to me. I think if they're GA, they have to be part of conformance.
Not true.
But again, I don't have a strong opinion. So let's forget about that for now. I'll talk to some other people and see if they have an opinion.
Right, maybe we can propose it in a meeting or something.
Yeah. But yeah. And again, we don't have any change to make, or barely any. Okay, we can make a proposal for that. Maybe we can, yeah, okay. I'll try and get some opinions on that. Cool. Okay, let's move on to beta 2 server-side apply. Okay, so reduce further the number of allocations, improve benchmarks to be closer to. Okay, I've done many of these. We have many of these now. I think the situation is much better. We have a much better understanding. Also found that even if the field set is very small, we still have problems. So I think that's interesting. I'm working these days on like reducing the number of allocations. I have some very good results so far. So that's very encouraging. I think it's going to make a huge difference. We'll see. I'm still working on this. I'll put my name down. I'll put Jenny's name here at the same time. Reduce the serialized size of the managed fields. Jenny's working on that. Do you want to talk about that, Jenny?
Yeah, I have a doc about this. I don't know, like, if I should make it a cap or not, but that was sort of a suggestion, and it's yeah, it's basically just taking the serialized JSON of the managed fields and shrinking it into binary format and trying to get all of the strings out of it, make everything to binary, except for the required ones.
Right. I was expecting something slightly more formal in the format. Let's share the document. Have you shared the document widely? Beside me?
No.
Okay.
Because I think I should still work on that.
Right. We're probably gonna want a lot of the API machinery people to look at it anyway. So it's gonna have to be shared extensively. But yeah, it'd be nice if we had like a good, maybe even an example of like how do we serialize a specific object. It'd be nice if we had numbers on like the actual reduction on some of the golden data that we have now. Though maybe you don't want to have to implement everything before you can give some numbers.
I don't know
Anyway.
if I need to implement everything to count how many characters are going to be saved. It's pretty easy to just replace things and see what.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try that. Also, you'll have to generate a map of the fields, right?
Right, that is part of it.
Okay, let's describe that because at least I think it's a sort of task that people can do where you can get help. Generate a map of field names to numbers.
Because one task can be, just making a filler map, but that does only a few fields, and then the next task could be to expand it to have every field and maybe even some annotation names. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think someone even newer to the project would probably work on that if it's properly described, which it's not right now. But based on your document, it should be possible to generate the thing. Okay, cool. Let's keep going on this task. What else is needed? Let's describe it in smaller items. So we need this map. We need the document. Right, document. Yep. To describe new format approach.
Yeah, I think it's mostly that, and then
Implement
the binary format.
the new serialization. Nice type. Okay. Test. Document. That's probably part of the cap, but whatever.
Sure. And I think implement the new serialization, deserialization. I think it is probably two parts that are unrelated, like the part about this using the map, and then the part about.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Implement the new deserialization format, and separately you have use the replace field names. That's what you meant?
Yes, that's what I meant.
I leave your name of that. Okay, good.
And I want to share that document more, but I have to. I didn't necessarily go into detail on the new format as much as I want to. So.
Yeah, I was a little sad to not see more details about the new format. Okay, let's move on. Enabling SSA by default on kubectl. So talk to Daniel, and he thinks it's absolutely not a priority. So I'm going to move that down. Okay. Declarative manager. Kevin's not here. I don't know if he's, I think he was out on vacations. Wait, what? Is it approved or is it closed? Okay, I have no idea what's going on here.
Maybe it's approved because it's not changing anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting, but this is not very high priority. The declarative managed field. The field removal. I think based on some of the discussions I had, a lot of people are super interested in having immutability and union as soon as possible. So I'm gonna keep unions and immutability here. Immutable fields is done and worked on by Stefan and Joe now. Stefan created a new cap today. Oh, there he is. Hey, Kevin. Yes, that's okay. Okay, and we need to revive the union. So these two tasks mostly depend on this first task, the number of allocation performed. So we'll see, but we have people that are working on it at the same time, so that's great. We'll see how it goes. Kevin, going back to declarative manager, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, sorry, my internet made problems. I'm back since yesterday. I'll look at it probably today or tomorrow and update the cap because we have some feedback from Daniel in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really recall what the feedback was.
Yeah, that's fine. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. But like it's still messing with me.
But I'm happy to see. I felt confident that it was going to move forward.
Yeah. Daniel's comments were, I think Jordan commented as well, and I thought I replied, but not to all of them.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Also, I talked with, we're not there yet, I guess. I talked with Josh about the field wiping, and we'll look at it together.
Okay. Okay, good. Documentation, I don't think is important right now. Let's move to miscellaneous. Serialization of field sets in Maya should always be the same. Didn't we fix that, Jenny?
Yeah, actually that's fixed by the PR I have out, but it's not merged, so I don't think that we can mark it as fixed yet.
Okay, that's the one.
I just fixed it by accident when I was doing this refactor.
That's good. That's always good. Let's keep it there until it's merged. Fix interfloat bug. Didn't we also? Then I fixed that.
We fixed one interfloat bug where, or is inter a string? I remember something. It recently came up in a comment, but that's, I think, still with the JSON and YAML libraries being different.
Yeah.
There was this weird thing we ignored them. I don't know if it's bothering us. There is an issue for it, but I'm not sure what's.
I'll move that. I'll move that away because
yeah.
So I was looking at the allocation and the performance for apply, and I found that we actually decode the YAML 3 times.
Yeah, I saw it.
Apply. And so I removed 2 of the calls to YAML to decode the YAML, which makes it much faster, obviously. And I was expecting I was gonna hit this problem of the intent float, but I didn't. So I think we should be good now. Let's move.
I also think that might get addressed accidentally when I read the security stuff where it said there's too much custom stuff with JSON and YAML going on. So if they address that, they might fix it. Because then the problem is we use different JSON and YAML libraries or modified libraries, and that's a conflict. So might not cover it.
Okay. I think we're good so far. We'll see if it happens again.
Yeah.
Surface schema parsing error from CRD handler to users who don't understand why their CRD is being handled. That sounds like something you're doing, Jenny.
Yeah, this was a follow-up to the bug fix. There was a bug in the first beta release, and
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think either do this as a follow-up or just having the direct conversion from V3 would also fix it.
Oh, right. Where do we have this item? Do we have this item somewhere?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's an item for that. That's probably a more important item.
Yeah.
And if it's done, then the other one would be fixed too.
Maybe I might. No, I'm gonna keep. I'm just going to do that so that we know it's related. Skip. What is it called?
Maybe just skip V2. Oh, that too. Yeah. There's like 3 steps actually.
SMD schema directly. Something like this.
Sure.
Where am I? Okay. Merge annotation available in KubeBuilder, blah, blah, blah. Not super interesting. Integrate with control runtime. That's not very important. This is much more important. I don't know why it's that.
Am I doing merge annotations available in KubeBuilder?
What?
Am I making
What's the
them
status,
available?
Danny?
Or should I just review this? I don't know.
Treat unspecified.
Oh, I think this is maybe on the wrong.
This is important, but that has nothing to do with KubeBuilder, right?
There is a description missing or a checkbox missing.
Oh, you think it's 2 different lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. Okay, we'll see if Kevin's right. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. So.
But I think it is supposed to be it's online actually.
But yeah, I don't know what merge annotations available in KubeBuilder means.
It means KubeBuilder should be able to define the list map keys list type. Isn't that it?
Okay.
Immutable. You could put those into KubeBuilder and it would work. I don't know if we. Yeah, I think it just means that KubeBuilder will send it to the CRD, and then it will work. I don't think they do it right now.
Yeah, not as important though. I've named the other task defaulted key values are missing. Key values doesn't make sense, but associative keys are missing. Okay. Yeah, I should look at that. Can you explain how you're depending on the default being in the Open API, right?
Yes. But actually I didn't wire through the Open API yet. So the PR I have is just for the SMD schema format, allowing a way to express a default, which it will then use if it's there. But the way that it's in the Open API could either be from the actual default or it could be from another extension. And it doesn't matter really to me, but I think we should use the actual default.
Yeah.
and then only put it in the SMD schema if it's a key, if it's an associative key.
That makes sense. How are we going to make it into the Open API?
Well, I guess if it's using the default, that might already be in the Open API.
The defaulting is done through code, not through the Open API. Right? It's hard-coded in the code.
Yes, but we might already define it as well. I'll have to look at that. Or we can just add it for the ones. There's only a couple of fields or just one field that this is a problem for. But unfortunately, it's like an important field that people use a lot.
Yeah, we need to address that before the release. I don't think it's going to be very complicated though. Let's move on because we have like 4 minutes left. And I want to talk about, what is your task, Maria?
I think it's a couple down. It says something like ownership is not.
Scale server.
Where was it? I saw it before. Yeah. So quick update on this one. So Hannes and I spent some time working on this, and we went down the path of updating the storage.go file, which is under each main resource. So we started with replica set, for example. And there's a bit there actually that looks at the scale subresource and gets the replica set's value and puts it back on the sorry, it uses that value to populate the main resource. And we experimented with adding a field manager there to represent scale, and implemented essentially adding a field manager entry for spec.replicas. And that sort of covers the path of like claiming ownership on behalf of scale, as in now when you have a kubectl apply later, that will now start conflicting.
That's good.
So if this sounds like a path that we can move forward with, our next steps are to try to go and implement the same thing for other resources.
Let's definitely have a look at what you've done before.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds good, but I want to make sure you're going the right path. And
yeah, for sure, because I also, like, there are a couple of things that I would like to run through before expanding it more broadly. The other one is like how does the path of like kubectl going and claiming ownership later, how does that work? We haven't quite validated that yet.
Okay.
The alternative option that we haven't looked at yet is figuring out a way of calling back to the main resource. So like getting a request to /scale and redirecting that to sort of be a request against the main resource, the way that a regular apply would work. But we haven't looked at that yet at all, and I don't know if that makes more or less sense than what we've tried out.
I'm not sure I see what you mean.
So we were thinking that we could maybe go down the path that a regular, quote unquote, apply request would go. So imagine that I was just applying some YAML and say my replicas are now 5 instead of 3.
Okay.
So try and call out. Try and redirect a code to scale to go down that other path to try and call down the main resource rather than the sub resource.
Okay, yeah.
But we haven't looked through that wiring if you want yet.
Let's look at what you've done and we'll see what's missing.
Okay.
Cool. Feel free to send a pull request even if it's not ready. The earlier the better, I think.
Okay, sounds good. I'll start preparing that then.
Thank you. Let's quickly make sure we haven't forgotten anything. Mutating.
Yeah. With the mutation, we wanted to wait for the performance to be better. Is it something we can address now?
Not yet. I'm hoping eventually we'll be able to do that, but I'm not there yet. Okay. We need to get a very good number. We can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
See you later.
Bye.